What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another one of these videos. Today we're taking a look at another Schizo Assassin build. We're going to be looking at the Greatsword and the Great Axe. Gotta love this setup. Greatsword, Great Axe. Why do I hear something? Oh, look at that. Got two guys running through here, just killing stuff. Beautiful. So Greatsword, Great Axe, one of my favorite combos in PvP. So let's jump into the stats and skills and all that jazz. So let's just jump into this first. So I never run everything at 625. I don't think it's required in PvP. I also don't like relying on perfect gear either. I will say I think I have a really nice setup personally. But as you can see, I don't run Rune Glass in any of my stuff besides this one weapon right here. I don't think it's needed. If you're good at PvP, that shit's not going to save you. So let's just jump into the actual build. So I'm running Crippling Reap, Resil on everything, a lot of refreshing. So freedom right there. So at a minimum for my builds, I like having 1 freedom or 3 freedom at least. Relentless freedom is required for the Greatsword, in my opinion. You need that as a skill, whether it's on your weapon or on your armor. Personally, I like having it on the armor. I don't think it's worth it on the weapon, but you can run it either way you like, obviously. So there's another freedom, Shirking Energy Resil, freedom refreshing Resil. Down to the jewelry. Everything I said, everything is 610. So stamina recovery, divine thrust, leeching / hardy. I love leeching and hardy as always. Those are my 2 favorites. And then slash is just a nice cherry on top. And then you have Doom's Chance Earring. For the weapons, this time I'm running something slightly different. There's no attunement on either of these, I believe, or maybe on the second one there is. So we have Keen, Fortifying Whirlwind, and Keenly Empowered. Obviously, I am maxing out as much as I can on the Whirlwind, as you can see there. So increasing armor by 15% and slash damage by 12% for 2 seconds. Max 5 stacks. 5 stacks. 15% at 5 stacks. That is a lot of armor. Now, obviously, we are in light, so it's not taking advantage of, you know, being in light, but if you're running this in medium, god damn, that's going to be some good armor when you're using Whirlwind. Slash damage, obviously that's what we're going for basically in the light, so you're getting 12% times 5. It's some really good damage out of Whirlwind. And then Keenly Empowered is just a nice little perk to have on there. And then on the Greatsword, I've got Vicious, Leeching Crosscut, Keenly Empowered. I don't care what people say. Leeching Crosscut is one of my favorite skills in the game. People say it's trash for PvP, and I will say it's not the best for chasing people, but I'll tell you what, when a bruiser trades into Leeching Crosscut, or Crosscut in general, and you just chunk them with that last hit of Crosscut, they get terrified real quick. Even somebody in a circle, a healing circle, you could still chunk the shit out of them with Crosscut. We have Leeching Crosscut on this because the heal for 72% when it hits is so good. I don't believe the clips in this one. I don't think I'm running the Leeching Crosscut on that specific Greatsword, but let me just say Leeching Crosscut is a fantastic perk to have on the weapon. I'm obviously running Heartrunner Detonate, which is the first one, because I'm a lazy person and I don't like doing PvE stuff, so yes. And I'm also not very rich, but you know, it is what it is. Let's jump into the actual skill, or the actual attributes. So I'm running 279, 30, 200. Obviously, I'd like this to be just 300 and then 5 dex. You don't need dex when running Greatsword and Great Axe. The more strength you have, the better. And then 200 con, you can swap between 200 and 150. If you're going like pure assassin, you could run 150 if you feel comfortable. In my opinion, when you're in the onslaught side of the Greatsword, the 200 con is needed. That 10% increase to physical and elemental armors, very beneficial. That'll save your ass a lot of the time. That's what I'm saying. In medium armor, this is probably a better set for medium in general, but I like having a little more burst in light, and the dodges obviously are a lot nicer in light. Let's jump into the weapon masteries. So for the Great Axe, Charge, Reap, Whirlwind, maximizing Whirlwind obviously, and we're also maximizing Reap because of all the additional heals you get from this. The amount of heals you get out of Reap are extremely good. You can reap and heal for anywhere between like 900 to, like, I've seen my highest heal was like 1400, I believe. So great heals on that. Then into the Greatsword tree, you got Relentless Rush, Crosscut, and Skyward Slash. Obviously, almost everything I have in here is on the onslaught side. You don't need aggressive. I mean, personally, I don't run aggressive shift because I'm not heavy attacking with my Greatsword very often. And I'm not charging my heavies right there. So these two are kind of worthless for me. I take Cleansing Chain for the debuffs, and then I take the Blade Honing. So with all the buffs going on, it's a nice little perk to have when you're in the onslaught stage. The reason why I don't like heavy attacking with the greatsword is because although the tracking is good and the damage is good on greatsword heavy attacks, it's just not something I like to do. I prefer to spam greatsword abilities and then I swap out of it as soon as possible into my great axe. My great axe is, in my opinion, not my damage dealer, but I just prefer to be using that to make the kills. You're going to see a lot of kills in the clips where it's my great axe making the kills, not the greatsword. The greatsword's there for a little bit of chase, a little bit of chase again, and then just this for trading for the heals on the Legion crosscut. All right, so let's just jump into it. So our first one here, Cenotaph. I wasn't really trying to chase this guy a lot, but he just ended up here, and Reap, just gotta love that Reap. Reap is so goddamn good. All right, so this next one here, just in a little bit of clump fighting again, 200 con. I'm just trying to whirlwind out of stuff, and then I see somebody, and I'm like, oh, it's time. And that crosscut, and then boom, look at the damage there, just so good. And then we chase him, and this is why we keep charge on, right here. Boom, charged him to death. Next clip, what do we got? So Cenotaph again. Like I said, I wasn't trying to find this guy. He just happened to be alone all the time, and I'm like, why not just chase this guy and mess with him? So this kid's not bad by any means for playing musket. I know I give the guy some props. There was a couple of close fights we had with this guy when it was just a 1v1. And by no means am I a great melee fighter. Like I just missed that crosscut completely. And like it's just fun to play melee. Like I don't give a shit what anybody says. It's just super fun. Alright. So again, Cenotaph is solo, and I mean he's doing some crazy damage on me, and I should not be running into this. Like I'm already at half health, less than half health, and now I'm at almost no health. And I don't care, I'm going in for it. Reap there for the extra heals, Whirlwind, because people freak out when they see Whirlwind. And this guy, the best thing about this fight is I get so low 2 times in a row, and the bear's even on me here, and he just cannot hit me. I mean, musket is a lot harder to hit now, which is great. You know, shows how hard musket is to play. And finish off with the regular. There we go. So you can see the heals popping up. The Reap heals are substantial, to say the least. Again, Cenotaph, I'm not trying to chase this guy, but he just ends up getting on my screen, and once I find somebody, I just go for him. There you go, and then Reap, boom. This is why you run Reap. A lot easier to catch people with Reap. Now this time, he came after me, and I thought it was great. I was like, alright, here's another 1v1. And then the 1v1 ended up being, I think, a 2v1 for a little bit here. So he's buying stuff right there. And why I love Whirlwind so much. When somebody riposts into your Whirlwind, they will almost never hit you with it as long as you're circling around them. That's why we run Whirlwind. Right there, crosscut to a death. Come back in here and heavy attack the tanks. Heavy attack your tanks. That's all I gotta do. Easy peasy. Here's another, what's this, bow spear? Yeah, bow spear guy. Now this guy, he got me down super low again, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But he had one fatal move that just ruined it for him. So he wasn't looking where he was going. He jumps and backs himself into the wall right there, and I just whirlwind him to death, and I just keep chasing him. And there he's dead. So that's why I love Whirlwind. Once you're on them, they're not getting away. It's so fun. Another greatsword boy. Nice little 1v1 here. And now see his crosscut? The only thing you need to avoid on the crosscut ultimately is that last hit. If that last hit hits you, that's going to chunk you. So a nice little 1v1 became a little 1v2-ish. Making some space between this guy. He gets me good in the back. That was a really good move on his end. Reap for the heals. So it's right there. It's like 1,500 in heals. 1,300 in heals, which is really nice. Here I'm using the sword and shield, obviously. And then this 1v1 quickly became a 2v1, and I should have backed out earlier. I had leaping strike to get out, but you know, I like taking fights. It's fun. All right, so this is a nice move on my end. So I'm chasing Cenotaph. There's people behind me also hitting him, but you're gonna see my slight little move here when he does his riposte right here, and just completely ruins his riposte. He pops it. I just slightly jump toward him, and then just end his day. Again, Whirlwind. This is why I love Whirlwind. Look how close it sticks on him, and look how much damage that does. Just so good. I love Whirlwind. Okay. And then here's a nice little group fight. Now, I don't normally run with other people, but this game we actually had a healer and a couple other people. It was a lot of fun. Again, running at 200 con for the extra damage reduction in melee and magic. And once again, just pop that Whirlwind. Just deleting people as you move. You cannot beat that. It's so fun to play this. And like I said, once that update pops, Whirlwind is going to decimate people. It's going to be amazing on clumps. Just having that mobility and that spin rotation is going to be incredible. Again, Whirlwind. Like, it's just such a fun skill to use. So I'm going to let these last two play out. Basically, that's the build, and that's the gist of it. If you guys like this kind of content, you know, let me know. Hit the subscribe, the like button. If you want to see something specific, hit me up. I do PvE every once in a while, like I said, but my main thing is PvP. If you want to see something specific, let me know. Once again, thank you all. Peace out.